Hello homeowners and renters of homes with a sunny front or backyard garden space. We're thrilled you're here today, and in this introduction video you'll learn more about the Food for Thought Garden Matching Program, and along the way we'll be able to answer most of your questions about how the Food for Thought Garden Matching process works. In the email you receive from me with the link to this video, there is also a link to a questionnaire to fill out so that we can assess if you and your garden space will be a great fit for the program. In the same email, there is a scheduling link to book a short 20-minute call with me so that I can answer any further questions you may have after you have viewed this video introduction. In the first part of this introduction video, I'll share about who James and I are briefly and how we got started with garden matching, and I'll also share who our Food for Thought homeowners are, as well as share with you about who our apartment dweller members are. So let's get started. If you are watching this video introduction in March, April or May this year, please know that it is not too late to be matched with a local apartment dweller gardener. The gardening season officially begins in the month of May on the west coast of BC, when we have the all clear to plant warm weather crops after the last frost has passed, which is typically by mid-May. During the months of March and April, Food for Thought is actively preparing garden matches for a late April to early May start, which is when the garden season officially kicks off. James and I have spent the last 18 to 19 years developing our own front and backyard into a huge organic vegetable garden, and over the years we've been through all of the trials and tribulations when planning and producing a large amount of food. Along the way we've met a ton of people, and we've developed some amazing relationships and learned from the best when it comes to growing organically from local organic and biodynamic farmers right here in Vancouver and across BC. Almost 19 years ago, neither one of us knew how to grow food, and today we grow an abundant bounty of the top 35 vegetables that grow the best on the south coast of British Columbia, so much so that it is able to sustain us through most of the winter season. Over the years, we've done a deep dive into all things organic vegetables, and at one point in time, we sold hundreds of our fresh organic fruit and veggies to high-end restaurants such as the Global Restaurant Group, Tojo's, the Italian Kitchen, Chin Chin, Hapa Izakaya, West, and Bishop's, just to name a few, here in Vancouver. After finding it challenging working in full-time jobs and growing and selling our vegetables to restaurants for 5 to 6 years, we decided to scale back and focus on storing enough food for ourselves over the growing season and learning how to preserve and can fruit and veggies over the winter months. It wasn't until the government mandated lockdowns of early 2020, when our small business work projects were put on hold or cancelled altogether, before I designed and created a plan to match and bring vegetable garden loving apartment dwellers together with local homeowners who had an underutilized garden space to bring back to life. The Food for Thought Garden Matching Program was born in part because when people would come to visit us and see our backyard garden, they'd exclaim, "Wow, look at how huge and lush your garden space looks. I wish I had a garden like this to grow vegetables, but unfortunately, I don't have the space." We heard comments like this for years. Together, James and I gathered a huge amount of knowledge, local connections, and experience regarding growing a bountiful urban organic veggie garden, and these past few years have become a perfect time to share our organic vegetable growing skill set and experience with others who are keen to learn. 2024 marks the beginning of Food for Thought's 5th year, connecting homeowners with approved sunny front and backyard garden spaces with fully vetted local apartment dwellers into the Food for Thought Garden Matching Program, and to date we've been very successful in connecting local neighbours together, building robust organic vegetable gardens throughout Metro Vancouver. If there is one thing the last 4 years has had everyone consider, it's looking to expand our relationships within our local communities. It is such an amazing feeling when we feel the strength of community coming together, and when we can connect over the same shared vision of seeing and experiencing vibrant veggie gardens thriving in a peaceful, productive, and meaningful way. Homeowners just like you who are now part of our program live predominantly on the west side of Vancouver in communities like Kitsilano, Kerrisdale, Southlands, Point Grey, Dunbar, and South Canby. And in East Vancouver, homeowners live in communities such as Mount Pleasant, Riley Park, Hastings Sunrise, Grandview Woodland, and other surrounding areas. We also have a few homes located in Richmond, Burnaby, Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, and North Vancouver, with more homes signing up each year. In order to join our garden matching program, we are looking for homeowners who are community minded and are looking forward to getting to know their local apartment dweller neighbours in a joyful and meaningful way by connecting with those who'd love to experience growing a veggie garden but don't have access to a nearby space. The apartment dwellers who join our program are mostly working professionals in a variety of different fields, and they are fully vetted to ensure they have the level of passion and commitment to grow an organic vegetable garden. We interview each and every apartment dweller, and we require a copy of an up-to-date background check to ensure that the gardeners we bring into the program will respect you and your garden space, as well as any larger garden tools that you may extend to them to use. This gives our homeowners the assurance we are matching the most committed, passionate and respectful apartment dwellers with them. We have a lovely community of apartment dweller gardeners. At the very beginning of the planting and growing season, none of us know each other, but the good news is that by the end of the season, we've all become good and even great friends. Most of the apartment dweller gardeners that join our program are new to novice, but we also have a handful of very experienced gardeners too. Most of our homeowner members in our program do not generally have an interest in growing a vegetable garden because for many of them they are simply too busy looking after young families, or they are working full-time, or they may be homeowners who are older with some aches and pains and are physically unable to manage a vegetable garden over the course of 7 to 8 months. Vegetable gardening can be quite a physical activity, so matching homeowners with a committed, passionate local apartment dweller gardener with stamina is a great way to create a win-win for both parties. Food for thought homeowners or renters of a home with an underused sunny front or backyard garden space absolutely love the idea of connecting with their local community of neighbours and have a vision of seeing an expansive vegetable garden growing where there was none growing before, or where there was once grass or empty raised garden beds. For homeowners or renters of homes, it can mean that there is a chance to have a vegetable garden space be taken care of and tended to, all without having to lift a finger. Food for Thought makes this possible, giving homeowners the opportunity to experience a lush growing veggie garden that is 100% hands-free for you. We have an extensive 15-step process that ensures we match you with the perfect local apartment dweller candidate. Now, let's move to the second part of the video introduction, where I'd love to find out a bit more about you, and I have a few questions to ask you to make sure that your garden space fits within the Food for Thought parameters. In order to answer these questions, please hop on over to the Google Forms link in the email you received, and please fill out the questionnaire. You may pause this video to answer the questionnaire now, or fill it in after you have viewed this video. We have a detailed process that we go through to ensure a win-win experience for both the homeowner and the apartment dweller here at Food for Thought, and we personally interview each and every potential assigned apartment dweller gardener, as well as every homeowner, to make sure each party will be a great fit for the program and to ensure the gardens and gardeners fit the requirements to fulfill a great garden growing experience. We provide apartment dweller gardeners with gardening support to assist them in their vegetable growing journey, either through digital online courses and or through live Zoom Q&A sessions and on-site outdoor workshops. We also provide a number of free live Zoom presentations to our garden membership at the start of the growing season. Our gardeners are not left to fend for themselves when it comes to growing an organic veggie garden, and we have many different levels of interaction and learning pods that they can attend. Part of our mission is to support the new and novice gardener in their journey to growing a successful and nutritious organic veggie garden. There are 2 main garden intake periods with Food for Thought. Our first garden intake is in spring, starting in May, and our second garden intake is in the fall, starting in November. The spring growing season runs from the 1st of May until the 31st of October, and the fall growing season runs from the 1st of November until the 31st of October the following year. Just for context and expectation, I'll share here that in our experience, gardeners may be at your assigned garden space during the planting and growing season anywhere from 2 to 5+ times per week. In the months of May and June, gardeners will come to water and weed 2 to 3 times per week, as Mother Nature will give a helping hand with watering, and then once the weather warms up in July and August, you could expect to see the gardener at your garden anywhere from 4 to 6+ times per week when the weather is very hot and dry. Most of the gardens do not have drip irrigation, so we coach our garden members to water regularly when Mother Nature is taking a summer break from watering. During the months of September and October, the weather begins to cool and the rain begins again, and the gardeners will drop down to 2 to 3 visits per week during this time frame. Gardeners spend anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes actively gardening, and usually more time is spent in the gardens at the very beginning and at the very end of the season, as gardeners will be planting, or clearing the fall garden debris. So you could see them spending upwards of an hour or so, and then their time commitments will be less as they water and harvest throughout the rest of the growing season. Every spring season, Food for Thought requires that fresh compost be delivered to each garden space at the beginning of the growing season to ensure a successful and abundant vegetable harvest each year, and also to replenish the garden soil with the necessary nutrients it takes to grow vegetables abundantly. We ask the homeowners to supply the compost for the garden, as this will stay on your property. We want this to be a relatively hands-off experience for the homeowners, as we have discovered the majority of homeowners in the Food for Thought program do not have the time, experience, or interest in growing a vegetable garden of their own, but would love their garden spaces to be filled with a lush, productive vegetable garden. We do have a few homeowners who do enjoy gardening and whose garden spaces provide enough room for the homeowner to garden a portion of their garden space, as well as to share additional garden space with a vetted local apartment dweller. We make it all possible using a hands-free process for the homeowner. Food for Thought will book, schedule, order, and deliver the exact amount of compost on site. The gardeners are then responsible for moving the curbside delivery of compost into the garden bed area. The apartment dweller gardeners are responsible for purchasing all the vegetable seeds, all the plant starts, and will be responsible for minor clearing of weeds from the vegetable growing area at the beginning of the growing season, as well as they'll be responsible for planting, watering, weeding, harvesting, and general garden maintenance throughout the garden growing season from May through till the end of October and onward. Compost is $41 per yard. This is a special blend specifically designed to enhance vegetable growth and production. It is delivered in a large delivery truck, and there is a delivery fee of approximately $50 to $65 plus by the delivery company, depending on the area of Vancouver you are located in. We have homeowners that will spend anywhere from $41 for 1 yard all the way up to $300 or more for multiple yards of compost, depending on the size of their garden space. Each garden is different, and James and I will do a garden site visit to determine how much compost you will require to set your vegetable garden growing season off right. Please note, in the very first year, the initial investment in compost, garden bed building, garden bed amendment will be larger than in following years. We do require the garden beds to be in good condition to be able to match a gardener with you, and we are able to supply you with a quotation for either new raised garden beds or to amend current garden beds, as well as provide a quote for any major garden clearing of weeds and garden debris, etc., to prepare the garden bed area for a vegetable garden. For homeowners or renters of a home with a garden space, there is no commitment on your part to do any gardening whatsoever. However, if the gardener is away for a long weekend or away for a summer vacation for a week or two, and you don't mind watering the vegetable garden area for the gardener, then that would be much appreciated. We recommend that our homeowners harvest produce from the vegetable garden whilst the gardener is away, and the gardener will show you how to harvest all manner of vegetables, as there is a specific way to pick lettuce, kale, Swiss chard, tomatoes, cucumbers, etc., so that the plant continues to grow and produce food effectively throughout the growing season. Your assigned gardener is required to donate to you between 20 to 25% or more in delicious organic vegetables produced from your garden. The assigned gardener is responsible for minor garden clearing and preparation, purchasing and planting all plant seeds and seedling starter plants in the designated vegetable area. The Food for Thought Garden Matching Program is a membership-based program. We have kept the membership level at a very reasonable amount so that it can allow us to match as many passionate and committed apartment dweller gardeners and homeowners together. Before the gardener begins gardening, you'll have an opportunity to meet your new gardener by joining a Zoom meet and greet introduction facilitated by Food for Thought. If you are ready to hear about the next steps in being assigned an apartment dweller gardener, then head over now to the Calendly link in the email where you clicked into this video and book the best day and time to connect with me. Our calendar is now open for bookings and we'll be on a call for about 20 minutes so that I can answer any other questions you may have for me, and I'll go over a few next steps to keep the garden matching process moving forward for you. We are very much looking forward to welcoming you to the Food for Thought garden matching community, and we can hardly wait to match you with a locally vetted apartment dweller gardener in your local neighbourhood this spring.